Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei moved on from Rias and made new Harem movie. Before we start, please go support KingCrownedClown for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Val's mistake. Today was a new day in Qua. I was waking up, after several attempts by the girls to sleep with me, but in the end everyone went to their own room. As for me, I had just woken up very peacefully from my bed. Next to me was the new school principal with her daughter. I took the whole package, mother and daughter. A few days ago, when I arrived at the academy, I needed an assistant or something. How could I help her? She saw my record as the best student and chose me. The women at school cursed the director because I would monopolize all my attention. Besides, she wanted me to help her and show her daughter the academy since she was a little insecure and had a hard time trusting others. So at first he refused to let us be friends, but then he started seeing my good side. So we became friends. Her mother was happy to see her daughter smile again. So as a thank you, she invited me to eat at the office. When she went to get her lunch, she tripped and fell on top of me, but she kissed me by accident. When she opened her eyes, she saw what she had done and moved away from me. She was extremely embarrassed and blushing. For my part, that wasn't so embarrassing anymore, since the same thing has happened to me with almost all the women at the academy. So I didn't take it seriously. She apologized and so did I. But after that, every time he looked into my eyes, he quickly looked away. So to fix things, I asked to speak to her. I asked her if there was anything wrong. It would be better if she found an assistant. But she said no. It's just that since that day I haven't been able to get the feeling of your lips imprinted on me. I'm your teacher, and this is wrong. Besides, my daughter likes you, and doing this to her would be unforgivable. Besides, I'm an older woman. Who would even notice a woman like me? I put my hands on her shoulders, and I said, I'm sorry for making you suffer and for not thinking about your feelings before. And I also like you and your daughter. But doing this to both of you, you don't deserve it. If I accept Yami, you will suffer, and if I accept you, she will suffer. Sorry. And I hugged her, and she started to cry. When we separated from the hug, our faces collided and we did it again. I felt very excited at these moments, just like her. I could feel her labored breathing. Lemon skipped. Luckily, I put a silent seal on it. Thanks, Sona, for teaching me magic. Drake congratulated me on such an act, but he warned me to be careful and not get caught by the girls, or else they'd castrate me. I told him, calm down, Drake. They started it, so there's no turning back now. While waking them both up with a kiss. Val's mistake part 2. Listen to the song in this FIC. A few days had passed. Issei was at school doing his homework, until the microphone said, the presence of Hyder Issei is requested at the address is important. Issei asked the master for permission, and he left there. Lemon skipped. Moo. The director always hogs the spotlight on Issei-sama, some said, so the church trio heard every word. Issei-sama said the three, and they would approach to know if they were talking about their Issei. Excuse me, but we heard you say Issei-sama. Who are you referring to? Who else? Who just left? And they asked why they called him that? They don't know. Issei took Kiba's title, and Issei-sama is the prince of the school. He became the number one in the school, and we're all here after him. Haha. Issei, my perverted friend, said Irina in doubt. Hey, don't call him that. Issei-sama isn't a pervert anymore. Everyone there commented on the change, defending Issei. It's serious. You guys who are his friends should know. Issei is handsome and kind, and what makes him look hexy is his seriousness, and even more so his bangs and that serious look. And you guys who live with him, how come you haven't done anything to him? If it were me, I'd let him dominate me. Issei-sama, they all said. Now who's the pervert? And the men just cursed Issei, and the angelic trio thought, it's true, Issei hasn't seen us with that lascivious face for a while now. Something must have happened. We should ask Rias-sama about this. Meanwhile, in Tear's office, just from inside could you hear loud moans. Issei arrived at his classroom. The angelic trio stared at him and said, it's true. Issei-sen became more handsome and serious, and they bit their lips. And when they saw it closely, all the women did the same. When did it become so popular? They said the three. When classes ended, Issei was about to leave, but the angelic trio stopped him. Something happened to Irina's Xenovia. We didn't just want to go with you back home. We can, the three of them said. Issei looked away, and there was Tear and Yami waiting for him. And Issei said, wait a moment, I forgot a notebook in my locker. I'll be back in a second. Hi, Issei-san, the three of them said. Issei ran and reached the bushes where Tear and Yami were waiting for him. Come on, Issei. We must finish the task. In a playful tone, And Issei thought and said in his mind, shit. Lemon skipped Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? I gotta hurry up. Drake. Yeah buddy, I'm going to hell. Haha. Remember that you are a demon, and you are already in hell. Right. Come on. Hi Ibu. Issei would walk with the trio. He walks without paying attention to them. Seeing that Issei didn't do anything to them, she was sad, and even more so for Irina. Seeing that he didn't make a move, they decided to take his arms and put them on their chests. But Issei was deep in thought about his two lovers and didn't notice the girls. When they saw that Issei hadn't done anything, they got worried. They continued on their way to the house. Issei went to his room. When the girls saw that Issei was ignoring them, it started to hurt them. They thought, what if we prepare a good meal for him tonight? That's when Rias and Akino arrived. Later Kaneko along with Ravel and Ross. When the affected people decided to talk about Issei's last behavior, they became worried. Issei came down from his room. When everyone saw him, they asked him if he wanted to eat, or if it was better for us. Issei said that he wasn't hungry and that he had to go out since according to his alibi, Matsuda is in the hospital. It seems that someone beat him up and I have to see him. Well, Issei is your friend after all. She nodded and Issei said, well, I'll see you tonight. Hi Issei-chan. Senpai.sen.sama. After leaving, the girls began to make a plan, which would be to catch Issei and give him our love tonight. Issei was halfway to his lover's house when he forgot his phone. Damn, they're at home if they see the photos of Yami and Tera. I'm more than dead. So he would go back with the girls. They rang the bell. Who could it be? When they opened the door they saw it, and it was worth it. Hello Gremory. This is Hayadu. Now Vala. It's you. He's not here, but if you'd like to have something to drink. Well, excuse me. This one would have appeared to have something to drink. But suddenly Vala felt a heat in him. What is this, he said, to which Albion said to him, it seems that the male of this house is in his mating season, and it seems that it's affecting you. It would be best to leave because otherwise you would do something stupid. Hey, here's your water, Vala-san, Rias said, to which Vala would be stunned by everyone's breasts. And how has my rival been? Oh well then, Issei. 3 minutes later. Or go, so that's what you'll do that night. And if I told you that there's a method to please him, what is it? They all said, experiences. I do those things with others and apply them to him. But no one knew that on the other side of the place was an Issei with his arms crossed. What will you do, girls? Will it be worth fighting for you or seeing your true faces as Taidoras? Issei was thinking when he saw what the girls would do. What do you think if you put it into practice with me? And we don't tell anyone about this. Getting closer to Rias. Issei was already leaving, but I heard. It was no good. We want that experience to be with Issei. What kind of stupid people would we be to do that to Issei? He said this. Vala felt jealousy taking over. Well, pardon my saying so. It's best to go. The girls lowered their guard, but then they heard Albion's voice saying, divide, divide. And they fell to the ground. Damned. Sorry, rival-san, but your women don't even come out of here as virgins. Aloe, who would approach Rias and Akino and be 1 centimeter away from touching their breasts. Sorry, Issei, they all said. Issei smiled and quickly took Vala's arm. Hello, Vala, he said with a smile. Hayadu. This isn't what it seems. Are you okay, Rias? Akino. Issei-kun. They both said, happy to see Issei. No, Issei. Vala divided our power and wanted to grape us, she said with tears. I see. Something you should say, Vala. I don't know what happened to me. It didn't end because Issei broke his arm, and he fell to the ground. Look, Vala, I'm warning you. If you come back here and talk even to my women, I swear that this time I will drag you to purgatory myself. Understood? While Issei kicked this one in the ribs. Understood. Hi, get up. Vala barely got up. When Drake's voice was present. How low have you fallen, Albion? Look at stealing a dragon's partner, Albion said. I'm sorry, but no way. As my partner said, if you come closer here we will not hesitate to finish you off. And Albion said nothing. Get out of here, Vala. Albion, Issei and Drake said. Vala wanted to talk and apologize to the girls, but Issei stabbed him in the shoulder with Ascalon. I told you if you did anything to them this time I'd kill you. Consider yourself lucky. Go away. And Vala was going to say something, but Issei grabbed him by the neck. What did I tell you? To which Issei easily threw Vala. When he was about to crash, he disappeared through a magic circle. Issei activated his glove, and he made several increases and he would return their power. Are you okay? He said, and they cried and said, Issei, that's really what we are for you. Lemon skipped Omedito Iba, Urusai Drake, with Vala, where am I? And he saw well, oh damn. The forest of relatives, and many beasts began to come out. I just wanted to invite him to my wedding. Damn, I'll talk when he's gone from that anger. And he was on guard. If you get out of this, you'll be the best host. What are you talking about? Of course I'll get out of here. I have to see my future wife, haha, that's how it's said. Lemon skipped. Where are you going, Ibu? Like where? Tyr and Yami are waiting for me. How is it that after doing it almost all night you can still do more? What can I tell you, Drake? I'm a teenager who loves. Ha, that's what it says. And as for Vala, what will you do? Well, he was going to grape them. The fair thing would be to return the favor. I think he had a sister and a girlfriend. His sister was flirting with me that time. I'll take advantage. I'll seduce him and get to his girlfriend. He laughed maliciously. Issei took a quick shower and left the house. He left everyone in his house with a big, satisfied smile. Issei arrived at Tyr's house and went up and saw how both were kissing, and he said, I hope you saved something for me. Lemon skipped. Why did you take so long? My mom was sick and I had to stay until she fell asleep. Well, we forgive you. Issei took off his shirt and the two of them, in heat, tackled him, and that's where a good mother-daughter threesome began. And Drake just congratulated Issei. Lemon skipped, with Vala. He arrived home injured, and was greeted by his girlfriend, who upon seeing him, quickly went to help him. What happened? I had a fight. Sorry, Baka, she said crying. I'm sorry, but when we get married I'll leave that life for you. You promise? Hi, because I love you. Lemon skipped, abstinence. A few days had already passed. It seems that Issei created some monsters since the Gremory seem insatiable. Lemon skipped. Rias sometimes takes advantage when everyone is asleep and rides Issei like a mare in heat. Lemon skipped. Rias, Aquino, Rossweisse, Asia, Xenovia, Irina, Kaneko, Ravel. They are insatiable repellent. Even so, Issei has no problem with it. Despite that, he still keeps up with Tyr and Yami on their getaway nights. Issei says he must make contracts, but what Rias and the others don't know is that Issei has made more than 100 contracts in less than a year. Lemon skipped. He ends up doing it with his contractors. Most of them are virgins, something he liked, and others are to gain experience in bed. But it seems they keep calling him again and again. Maybe this is getting out of hand. He doesn't complain, because before this kind of thing was his fantasy. But with this and the other thing he's taken advantage and has his breaks. To see Tyr and Yami, but with their contracts done, now they have more time. Today I was on the balcony of the house, watching the moonlight. Sigh, something's up, buddy. No, it's nothing, Drake. I just keep thinking about what they'll say when they find out I'm no longer a virgin. Is that it? Don't worry. It would be best not to say anything. You understand me, my friend. Haha, that's how you talk, Ibu. On the other side was an angry Rias since Issei was not a virgin. So you don't feel guilty about having been unfaithful to us, right? Issei-kun, he said with an angry tick. If that's the case, entering the room. The next day Issei woke up and there was no one by his side. Something that made him happy since he had enough energy for the day. I go down to breakfast and greet everyone, but they ignored him. Something happened, girls. Betsuni, they all said. Issei didn't pay attention to it. He finished breakfast. He went to shower and get dressed. I asked the girls if they were going with the academy wing, but they said they had other things to do. Issei didn't care and didn't show any concern. See you, he said. Issei. Rias, don't you think we're being mean to Issei? Not at all, Aquino. He was unfaithful to us and deserves punishment. Until he apologizes, no one will make love to Issei, that's clear. Issei, Rias, and Aquino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? Hi, they all said sadly. But if Issei doesn't do anything, what will we do? And he was left thinking, we'll have to take a risk. Okay, you send Rias. And they all left. Rias and Aquino to the university, and the rest to the academy. Issei arrived as quickly as possible since Tyr was waiting for him in gymnastics. When he arrived, he saw her wearing a very tight swimsuit that showed off her curves very well. Wow, look what we have here. He approached and they kissed very passionately. Issei, I miss you. Without you the weekend. Don't worry. But I feel like we'll have your Yami and I longer than I think. Seriously. To make up for it, how about I stay with you today? And Tyr was glad that she jumped on Issei. So why wait until nighttime if we can start right away? And Tyr started to undress, for my own good, and this stripping of all garments to Tyr. 2 hours later in the infirmary. Wait, Yami, if they see us here. Don't worry. I also put a lock on the door if someone comes. I have a plan. Okay. While I was being kissed on the neck by Jami. Wait, are you going to give me a hickey? It doesn't matter. You've done everything to me and I haven't done anything. Okay, Hag. Lemon skipped. A little while later at lunch, Issei went to see the girls which they ignored, and he said, "Oh my, someone is playing hard to get. What do you think, Drake? Jump, play along with them. If they behave like that it's because they want you to beg them, but never give in to a girl. That will make you look weak and they will take over and dominate you. Jump, that's what they think, but you'll see." Issei walked and stayed a little far from the club. As he lay down and ate quietly, Tyr and Yami would come to keep him company and the three of them would eat together. "Everything is fine," Issei, mother and daughter said. "No, it's nothing. I was just thinking about what we're doing." "Do you regret being with us?" they said sadly. "Quite the opposite. I'm glad you guys were my first time." "Really?" "Yes, I love you," and they happily said. "So let us show you how much we love you." And both of them began to take off piece by piece, until they were left with long black socks. "We'll have time." "Of course. I'm the director and you're my assistant." "Very well. Then let's say no more." A while in the classroom, they have seen Hayadu. "No, teacher. He has not returned from lunch." They questioned everyone there, and the angelic trio began to reflect on whether what they told Issei this morning was the right thing, until the classroom door opened and Issei entered very agitatedly. "It's fine, young Hayadu. It's just that my watch didn't work properly and I didn't notice the time." "Okay, young Hayadu, the class has started, so I'll have to ask a classmate for notes." "Hi." So the trio wanted to get closer to him, but they all surrounded Issei to give him their notes, and the angelic guy was left without his Issei and to speak well. But it seemed that what they did to him only bothered them. Classes ended and everyone was already going home. Issei was left waiting for something, so the trio thought he was waiting for them, so to make him angry, they left him there. But Issei wasn't waiting for them. "Hello, Tiryami, we're leaving," and they took her arm and left from there, with the girls. When they arrived, they thought Issei would beg them. They were even practicing how to talk to him indifferently without it affecting them. After that the others arrived, and they started talking. When they made the food, Rias told Asia to go get Issei so they could eat. "Hi Rias once-san." Asia came up and said, "What does it matter? Let them get angry because it has to affect me." Lemon skipped. "I walked in and it was just like they left it in the morning. He came down and said that Issei hasn't arrived yet." They all said, and so the day passed. The girls let their guard down with Issei. A week passed, and the same thing happened. Issei made them suffer because when he was in the house, he got used to being shirtless and showing them his upper body. Lemon skipped, and every time they wanted to see the phone, Issei would leave. 2 weeks passed, and all the girls were in a good mood. Lemon skipped, especially Rias, since she dealt with everything. Today was Saturday, and they thought it would be better to fix things even without asking for forgiveness, but they would have it the other way around. They saw Issei in his room changing. They all saw Issei look at his phone again. When Issei left the room, he went down to the living room. Everyone was waiting for him. Issei came down and greeted everyone. "You're going somewhere, Issei-san," they all said. "My name is Matsuda and Motohama. I want to go see a movie. I'm going to make a movie with T and Yam." "Oh, I see. You're going to see a movie. Yes, you could say yes." "Okay, you're going to arrive at night," they all said. I don't know. Matsuda told me that if it got late I should stay in his face." "Okay, if you arrive early we could talk." Okay. We see each other," and Issei left. Lemon skipped. They're all grumpier now. It's just that they know how to hide it. But when they sleep, they masturbate thinking about him. But it's not the same to do it alone without him. "Rias-sama, something's wrong, girls. I need Issei. I've been feeling weird the last few weeks," they all said at once. "Hey, since Issei-san and I stopped making love, I feel like before. Please, Rias, let's forgive Issei and that's it. Please." And Rias said, "Yes, I lost. That's why I told him that if he arrived early we would talk." "Really?" "Yes. So if he comes today, I'll wear those clothes I bought a few days ago." And so the day passed, and then the night. But Issei didn't arrive, and they all fell asleep in Issei's bed. And they said, Lemon skipped, talking. "A few days have passed, and no matter how hard they try to seduce Issei, he doesn't fall for it. Today we will talk to him. It's clear." "Hi Bucho," the females said. At school Issei was changing because it was his sports class. He was undressing. At that moment he felt a certain demonic and yukai aura. He put on his shirt and said, "Enjoy the view Kuroka. Naya Issei-kun. I was just delighted by how the father of my children dressed." "You were looking for something." "Oh, but how serious, Issei Naya. I heard you hurt Vala." "I just came to ask what he did to make you hurt him." jump. What he didn't do, he tried to grape Rias and others, and to add fuel to the fire, Issei said. He especially groped Kaneko. And Kuroka got angry and said, "What did he do? Damn, I'll pay for this." "Stop," said Issei. "What's happening because you're stopping me? Think with a cool head. It will be of no use to do anything at this moment." "What do you mean?" "Simple. I want to hurt Vala. You want to hurt Vala. We both want to hurt Vala." "I'm listening to you," Kuroka said. "Find his weakness." "That's more than enough," Issei said, and Kuroka said, "Okay, just tell Chiron that I love her very much, and that I won't let that bastard Vala get away with it." And before Kuroka walked towards the exit, the voices of the other students entering were heard. Issei thought, if they see her here they'll spread rumors. I don't care what they say about me, but I think it will hurt Tyr and Yami. Issei without hesitation took Kuroka's hands and they got inside the locker. "Naya." "Issei, what are you doing? It's not my season yet." "Wait." "Shoo." Issei put his hand on Kuroka's lips, which only turned red as she began to feel strange. The heat intensified in the locker. Issei remained stoic about the situation, but Kuroka decided to play a joke on Issei where she began to put her arms around his neck. "What are you doing, Kuroka?" said Issei. "Naya, let's seize the moment." "This girl," Issei said without losing sight of Kuroka. "If that's what you want, fine." Issei put his hand on her breasts where she was almost moaning, but he managed to cover her mouth. "What are you?" He didn't finish as he started massaging her huge breasts. Issei waits. Issei smiled and said, "Oh, but you started it. Why should I wait?" Kuroka didn't try to be subdued, so she took desperate measures. She tore Issei's shirt with her nails, and began to kiss Issei's body. Lemon skipped. Issei stopped and Kuroka just breathed a little raggedly. They looked closely and there was no one there anymore. Issei moved to get out, but Kuroka's hand prevented this movement. "Wait," said Kuroka. They stayed like that for a moment until Kuroka pounced on him. The locker opened and they both fell to the floor. Issei opened his eyes and Kuroka was red. Her kimono opened and showed her breasts. "Issei-yo," Kuroka said. Issei understood the situation and said, "I understand." Lemon skipped. "I didn't mean that, Baka," she said sadly. He then approached her and began to kiss her. She responded to the kiss, which intensified greatly. Lemon skipped. "Kuroka, perhaps you." It didn't end when she kissed him and said, "Baka, did you think I was that kind of woman?" To which Issei said nothing and continued with his own business. Kuroka's moans could be heard. After a while Issei came 4 times in Kuroka. They both started getting dressed and Kuroka said, "Baka, you couldn't have been more gentlemanly to me. I thought you liked it rough." "Dude, what things you say." Issei just smiled and said, "Okay. Next time I'll treat you better." "There will be another time," Kuroka said happily. "Of course." To which Issei put a paper on her breasts. "Here's what this is. It's a magic transportation circle. Use it only on Saturday and Sunday mornings. I will appear when you need my company. And why not other days? I have my obligations. But if you only want Saturdays." "No, it's not right like that," he smiled and said. "And regarding Vala, this stays between us. Just look for what I told you. I'll take care of the rest." "Hi," Kuroka said. Issei said, "I have to go." At which point Issei approached Kuroka. He kissed her and put his hand on her butt. "Naya," Kuroka said. Issei said, "This is mine now." And Kuroka said, "It always was." And he left and Kuroka left with a big smile of satisfaction. Night came and Issei was lying down listening to music, when he heard the knock on the door. "Who is it?" "We can talk about ourselves," said Rias and company. Issei thought about it. Drake said, "Do it. It's time to talk." "Okay," he said. "Forward." And then the 8 girls entered the room. "Issei, we want to talk to you." "Don't go." The girls had entered the room. I was lying down and they were in front of me. Before they could speak, a magic circle appeared, and of which I speak Sona Citri. "Hi Sona, something happened. Sorry to bother you, but something happened downtown." "What happened?" said Rias. "A group of renegades allied with the Cows Brigade are kidnapping people." I see. If I need them to go as support. It is believed that without a large number." "Understood, Sona. Let's go there." "Thanks, Rias. I'm counting on you." Rias sighed. "Issei, we will talk about this later, okay?" "Understood." And the girls sighed since they couldn't talk to Issei. Minutes later in the room. "Are you ready?" "Hi, Bucho." Issei came down with another type of clothes. "Something's wrong," Issei said as if nothing had happened. "Hi." They all said a little red. Issei has changed. He's stopped being perverted and is more mature in his way of acting. They all thought. "Okay, let's go," said Issei, entering the middle of the circle. So they disappeared from the house. When they arrived they could see that there were some corpses. The girls covered their noses because the smell was nauseating. Issei said, "It's this way. I can smell the scent signature 2 meters away." and Issei ran at full speed. The girls would be surprised since they hadn't seen Issei activate the dragon gauntlet at any time. When they followed Issei, he was already fighting some renegades. Issei watched in fury as they raped a girl. Issei, without thinking twice, threw himself. He kicked the man who was on top of the girl and did this to him. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? Damn, said Issei. Those men don't deserve to live. Do it, mate, said Drake. Hi. And Issei took out Ascalon and mercilessly pierced the chests of several people there. When I finished with several of them, one of them saw how the girl who was raped said, "If we don't have you, you're not worth it." So without compassion, I eliminate the poor girl. The guy who was about to leave with an arrogant smile was knocked out. Issei, seeing this, and seeing how he couldn't protect the girl, did the following. Before the girls arrived, he tied up everyone who was unconscious there. I activate a magic circle and transport everyone from one place to another. When the Gremory arrived, they saw Issei looking at the sky with a sad face. Something happened, Issei, said Rias. They murdered and raped everyone here. Women, children, and adults. Seeing Issei like that, they hugged him. Calm down, Issei. This will always be like this. As long as the Chaos Brigade exists, Issei said to everyone there. I will eliminate the Chaos Brigade myself, he said with determination. Sorry girls, but I have to do something. They understood. Do what you have to do. We'll wait for you at home. Hi, Issei said and left. The girls stayed because someone had to clean the place. An hour later, unknown location. Issei threw water on a lot of people there. Wake up, it's time to talk, you damn murderers. And they woke up. Who is your boss? Issei said seriously. Ha, we know you're the security. And we know you don't hurt anyone. And we won't tell you anything. So why don't you call your leaders? Like the lapdog you are. Ha, everyone laughed. Ha, Issei laughed. If I don't hurt anyone. But here's an exception. What are you talking about? I didn't finish because Issei had cut off all of the guy's fingers. Please stop. Have mercy. Mercy. Damned, and Issei hit him several times in the face that left him so swollen that no one would recognize him. You had no mercy when you raped and murdered all those people. So talk, damn it. Okay, I'll talk. But no more, the guy cried. We follow the orders of a demon named Rise Vim von Lucifer. Issei, hearing that, said, Vala's grandfather. Damn, keep talking. He has ordered us to wipe out some nobles from demonic clans to start hostility with enemy families. I see. A demonic civil war. Well, that's all. If now that we've told you everything, you'll let us go. We swore not to say anything about this. Have mercy. They kept their word, and it would be fair to do the same. And Issei let everyone go. They ran out of the place until they opened the door. When they saw this, they were terrified. You said you would free us. That's what I did. I said I wouldn't kill them, but they did, and there were creatures with a thirst for blood. At that moment, several animals jumped in and began to detach everyone there. It looked like a massacre. Issei walked and went straight home. Upon entering, she saw the girls in the living room. Issei, come, they all said. Issei walked, and it was time to talk. Issei, we know that you have a secret affair with someone. I heard you say that you were no longer a virgin, so tell us why and with whom. They all said sadly. Issei sighed and said, They're right. I've been out of the loop for 3 months now. And yes, I'm in a relationship with someone. And the reason that's simple. When you laughed, he started ignoring me and said those ugly things that hurt me that afternoon, and even more so when they left me alone and made fun of me by telling mean jokes behind my back. There was a moment when I doubted your love for me, so I left my perversion and focused on getting stronger. I improved in the academy, among other things. If you didn't love me anymore, it would be best for me to move on with my life. During that time I was still hurting. I met someone who at first I thought was attraction, but then the attraction turned into something more. But when I saw that they were trying to fix things with me, I thought that if they were really sorry, it would be best to try again. Then what happened with Vala? I was there listening to every stupid word my so-called friend said about the people he loved. I thought you would accept his proposal. So I said, will it be worth fighting for, or will you just throw it all away? When Vala proposed that to you, I was already leaving, thinking about your answer. But when I saw that you didn't, I decided that it would be worth fighting for you. I'm not going to apologize for what I did, because at that moment, you pushed me out of your lives, and someone came along and gave me their love. That's why I'm asking you, are you willing to try it with me? Or would it be better to end this relationship? Issei said in a calm tone. Issei, seeing that the girls didn't respond, said, well, his face says it all. It would be best if I left here. When Issei got up and started walking, the girls said, "It was our fault. We pushed him away. If we hadn't been like that with him." When they were going to talk, Issei was in his room packing. Upon hearing what he had said, they said, "No, Issei. Don't go." And they ran to tell him if they were willing to try again. Issei was packing enough to go to a hotel. Well, it's time. He grabbed his suitcase and was about to leave when the door opened abruptly, and he saw the girls crying. Issei said, "Okay, see you." And he said to Rias, "Don't worry. I'll speak to your family personally about our commitment. I'm going to a hotel. If you need my help, just call me, and I'll be there." Well, goodbye, girls. And this path. The girls, seeing that, they pulled Issei's shirt. "We're sorry," they all said. "We didn't know all the harm we did to you, but knowing what you did, we only felt anger, and that's why we stopped making love to you. And just the fact that you told us you're leaving breaks our hearts. We love you and we want you to make love to us day and night. Knowing that you haven't made love to us these past few weeks made us realize something. And that's why we want to be by your side for the rest of our lives. It's not worth it without you. We want you to stay and make us yours. We want to give birth to your children, and if that means sharing you, we will. But please don't go," they said with tears, and Drake said, "I'm not going to cry," and he started to cry, and Issei threw his suitcase and said, "I love you," and they lunged at Issei. Being on the ground, they wiped their tears and said, "Issei, make love to us," and each one began to undress. "Issei, please, I can't stand being without you inside me anymore." Lemon skipped, and all night and all morning long, moans of pleasure could be heard inside the room. Elsewhere, "Wait, okay, I'm not ready yet. I want to be a virgin until our wedding day. Sorry, but I couldn't help myself. But for you I'll do anything. I love you." In the shadows, Era Valakun. "So that's your weakness. You look so pathetic, acting like nothing happened." "Kuroka-senpai, what are we doing here?" said a magician. "You'll see, Fei-chan. First of all, follow my advice that I gave you to seduce Issei-kyun." And she blushed. "Hi, but what good would it do not wearing panties?" "Don't worry, you'll find out the day after tomorrow, Naya." "It's okay, Kuroka-senpai. OVA, anything can happen. I clarify. This happened after being with Tyr and Yami. I don't accept complaints, and if there are any, middle finger. Let's begin. Pretend it bothers me that girls are constantly harassing me. I'd better go train." "Issei, you go somewhere?" "I'm going to make my contracts. I'll come back tonight, Rias-sama," Issei said in a dry tone, and tears came to her eyes when she saw Issei treating her like that. "Something happened, laughs," her friend said. "Same here, Akino. Keep ignoring me. It was my fault. If I hadn't spoken to him like that. The same thing happens to us. Every time we tried to talk to him, or almost in my case. Every time he asked me for help studying, I did it. But he doesn't do it anymore. That day he told me very clearly that he didn't need anything from me. He left, and I couldn't believe how he had spoken to me. Something happened to Issei. Let's talk to the others. Tonight when Issei comes, we'll try to bathe with him, and if possible, we'll work something out." "I love the idea, Rias. Let's not say more. Let's talk about it with the others." "Hi." A little while later, Issei was in the mountains training. "Damn, I can't," said a frustrated Issei. "Not until. You need to channel your magic and focus more, or else you'll just waste magic, and it will be very bad for you." "Who is there?" And out of the darkness came, "Oh, it's you, Sona-san," Issei said. "Hello, Issei-kun," said Sona. "I see you're training. I can help you master the basics." "Arigato," said Issei. And so an hour passed where Sona taught him the basics. Then create things with magic. Something that Issei mastered well. "Wow, you're good, Issei-kun." Praise sounds like Issei. "Thanks, but I have a good teacher." "Haha," I laugh. "Hey Issei, can I ask you something?" "He told you, right?" "Hey, how do you know?" "Before you judge me, I'll tell you what really happened." A little while later, "Or I see. But don't you think you're being mean to them?" Sona commented. "No, this doesn't compare to what I felt back then." "Well, but you couldn't even talk it over with Rias, and maybe fix everything at once." Issei's mind. "It's noisy, I better go." As he was about to walk away, a branch crossed his shoe and Issei fell, taking Sona with him. Issei opened his eyes and saw how he was lying and Sona on top of him. Sona opened her eyes and saw how she was on top of him. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? In one movement she felt a lump under her, and she just turned red and started muttering, saying, "I'm sorry." I didn't finish as the moonlight illuminated Issei's face. to which when he saw it clearly he only said, "How beautiful." And he felt a pang in his heart, and little by little without realizing it he was getting closer to Issei's face, until Sona was kissing Issei. When he saw what had happened, he didn't say anything, he only kissed back. After a few minutes they both separated and Sona was very red. Issei, I'm sorry, but I think I'm taking advantage of your pain. This isn't right. Rias is my friend and I. It didn't end because Issei kissed her. As they separated, Issei said, "It doesn't matter. Before this happened, I could feel that there was an attraction between us. And what about Rias? She pushed me away. It's okay if she finds out." While Issei was kissing her neck, he said, "She provoked him. And you wanted to." When they separated, Sona was very red and her shirt was somewhat shabby. "It doesn't matter anymore, I want you," Sona said, taking Issei's hand and disappearing from there in a magic circle. Minutes later, they both arrived at Sona's apartment. Both lovers were walking while kissing. Sona guided him to her room. Issei started undressing and sounds the same, Issei being left shirtless and dreaming of wearing a bra. They said they couldn't take it anymore and jumped on each other and began to kiss in such a passionate way. Issei fell onto the bed while Sona threw herself at him. "Lemon skipped," Issei said. "What a beautiful view I'm seeing." And Sona said, "Sorry if they are small," she said sadly. "No, they are better," and Issei removed Sona's hand that was covering her breasts. "Lemon skipped," Sona-sama. "Lemon skipped," the queen said. "Is it me or has she gotten bigger?" "Lemon skipped, Issei said Tsubaki. "Maybe she and he. But isn't Issei Rias's fiancé?" Sona couldn't hold on and got on all fours. He put his hand on his private part and opened it for Issei to see. He said, "Lemon skipped, Issei, don't play with me like that. Say the magic words." "All right, lemon skipped," Sona screamed as it was her first time, and blood gushed out of her. "Issei-yo, I understand." And he slowly moved, until Sona started to pant. "Lemon skipped, let's come together." Issei was down below, and Sona was above him. Lemon skipped, they were both exhausted. Sona took his arm like a pillow while she hugged him. And in the other room there was a queen with juices coming out of her as she said, "Lemon skipped," with Issei. They both looked at each other and kissed. "Issei, what we just did. After this, what are you and I now?" said Sona. Issei looked at her and took her hands. "We're boyfriend and girlfriend from now on. But this will be a secret. What happens here stays here." "Hi," she said, sounding a little happy. "Hey Issei, can we do it again?" she said, sounding embarrassed. Issei looked at her and said, "I'm not satisfied yet. I could make love to you until dawn," Issei said, kissing Sona. Lemon skipped, "Hi at a house. Rias, it's already late. Let's go to sleep." "Issei won't come." "But I can't sleep without Issei." We'll talk about this with him. He's still hurting. He's probably going to one of his friends' houses." "You're right. Issei, where are you?" Rias said, putting her hands on her chest. "Dragon X Magician X Nico." "Girls, wait a moment. We haven't been to school since Tuesday. If we don't stop now, hag, moan." "Everything is fine, Issei," said Rias, writing Issei. "Yes, I know, but I'm coming," said a woman in ecstasy. Rias, "Me too. Hag, come inside me all you want. I want to have your baby. Get this demon girl who loves you so much pregnant." "I love you, Issei," said Rias, kissing Issei passionately. At the moment they both said, "I'm coming," and Rias fell exhausted. Era. "It seems that I don't win if I laugh." Lemon skipped, Your semen is delicious. I could get addicted to it like I am to this big guy." As I took his member, bringing it to my mouth. "It's unfair, Akino-senpai. It's my turn for Issei-san to make me his." I recline in Asian with a pout. Lemon skipped, "Okay, Issei-kun, give me your baby," Akino said, getting down suddenly, letting out a loud moan. Lemon skipped, "Asia waits. Ha, if it continues like this." Lemon skipped, Era Zeno-chan. Lemon skipped, and that's how it's been these past 2 days. When Issei couldn't take it anymore, they all fell asleep, hugging Issei as best they could, while our protagonist's semen dripped from their vaginas. The stud. Friday had already arrived. Issei and the others didn't leave the room for almost 3 days. The bad thing is that Issei received too many messages from Tyr and Yami, who were worried about not hearing from him in days, and even more so that he hasn't spoken to them. But Issei told them that he would talk to them about it later. He thought it over and it was time to talk about the fact that he is a hybrid dragon demon, and that he wanted both of them to be part of Rias's nobility, so that they could spend the rest of their lives with Issei. At that Issei smiled. "So my kitty calls me," Issei said as he finished cooking. Taking everything to the room where everyone is asleep, Issei wrote a letter saying, "Something important came up. It's related to someone I have unfinished business with. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame." Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? I'll be back later. Sincerely, Issei. P.S. I left the food ready. Since we haven't bothered going out to eat for the past 3 days, they are so insatiable. Issei loves them. Issei put on his jacket and left while the transport circle he gave to Kuroka took him. Unknown location. Kuroka-senpai. Do you think this will work? Lemon skipped. Of course, Naya. It's like you're giving Issei-kyun something. But that gift is you. And Luffei was just red. I understand. But I'm nervous. It's my first time. That's why you're wrapped in gift ribbons. So he knows that your first time is reserved for the man you love. Like I did, Kuroka said. A while later, Issei arrived and noticed it was a hotel room. Apparently he was in the living room. I walk over to where there was a sign on the front door that said "Come in, darling." Issei walked. He turned the knob and upon entering he was surprised because there was Luffei covered by gift ribbons in different areas. He saw that his hands were tied, and he was blushing noticeably. Issei-sama, it's time for me to give him his gift. He untied his hands. I take something that was on the nightstand. That's melted chocolate, Issei said. Lemon skipped. Kuroka. What are you doing, hag? It's unfair that you don't save energy for me. The doom of Vala. Lemon skipped. After a while. That was incredible, Issei-sama, said the little mage snuggled up in Issei's chest. I don't know. If this is incredible, why haven't I done it since I met him? The magician said, and Issei stood up and placed his hand on her cheek. That's because we both didn't have the mental maturity we have today. Besides, you waited for me, and that's what matters most. Issei-sama looks into his eyes and begins to get closer until they are close and begin to kiss. Naya, it seems I'm missing something, said Anekashi yawning. Hey Kuroka-senpai, said the magician. I see you're having fun without me, said the cat. Not at all, Kuroka. We were just talking, Issei said. That's true, Fei-chan. Hi, she said, a little red. Well, I hope so, Kuroka said, getting out of bed to go to the bathroom. By the way, Kuroka, but I was able to read the memories and what I saw. There was something that really bothered me. That's true, Issei said. Yes, Issei Naya. What you saw was flashback memories. Where did Vala go? Kuroka said. But then she approached a door, and Vala did. How is the plan going? Don't worry, Grandpa. I'll soon seduce his women. When that happens, I'll turn them against him. And I'll take advantage of his pain and frame him by killing the Demon King. After that, you'll be the new Mao. While I buck his women in front of him in prison, I'll see his desperation while those bitches receive my seed. Like a Lucifer, we must have offspring. But don't forget that I want the mother of that red-haired brat, Riesvim said with a psychopathic look. Ha! And they both start laughing like crazy. This is wrong, Kuroja said. That he heard everything. If that happens, everything is lost. By the way, Vala, because you had a broken arm, eh? It's just that when I put my plan into motion, that idiot Haidu broke it and sent me to the Forest of Familiars, and P.S. I almost didn't make it. If he hadn't arrived, I would have made them mine, and you would be the new Mao. This is a problem. If you did that once, he will be watching. Don't worry. Albion has a good excuse. I'll say that my mating season took over and I didn't know what I was doing. After that, I'm supposed to meet with Haidu at a certain place where he will arrive to talk about some things, but I won't arrive. That's when you will be present. While that happens, I will be at his house, making his beloved Gremory mine. After that, I'll turn them against him. He'll be imprisoned for going against the factions by killing the Mao and allying himself with the Chaos Brigade. He'll be accused of being your accomplice, imprisoned and tortured. I'll be present and he'll witness how their Gremory scream for him to buck them like bitches in heat. I'll get them pregnant. Ha ha. Rhea Riesvim, you're just like your grandfather. Ha ha. Too bad my father was weak, he said. Vala, lose. That's why I had to kill him. He was a disgrace to the Lucifers. Now that everything is clear, how is your relationship with that girl Lavinia Rennie going? It's going great. She's my light. Without her I would die. You're so evil and at the same time so in love. While that was happening, Kuroka had already left. Issei-kyun has to know this, the Nico said. End of flashback. And what will you do, Issei-kyun Naya? Kuroka said. HMP. If that's true, then an eye for an eye. Hey, do you know where that girl is? Who? Rennie. Ek love of Vala. Yes, I know where it is. In fact, it's here in Kwa, looking for wedding dresses. Perfect. What will Issei-sama do? Said Luffei. I'll just say, I'll make Vala pay for everything. But first, why don't we enjoy the day more, my two girls? Issei said, to which both couldn't resist and did it again for the rest of the day. Elsewhere, oh look at that dress. I'll look beautiful for Vala-kun, a certain girl said. Your time has come. Days have passed since the love encounter between a Nico and a magician. During that time, Issei thoroughly investigated Vala. He discovered part of the plans of both Lucifers. He looked for evidence to make the traitor of his former friend pay. Aside from that, Issei happened to meet Rennie Lavinia, Vala's fiancé. Issei and Rennie quickly became good friends, but for some reason, Rennie hid that detail from her fiancé. The reason, who knows, and she didn't tell him she was engaged, which puzzled her. Any woman would say that to a man to push him away, but she didn't. She doesn't know that. But despite having known him for only a few days, she grew very fond of him. Since she and Vala don't live together yet, Rennie and Issei go out sometimes. They both became very good friends, those who tell each other everything. When Issei asks her if she has a boyfriend, she says she doesn't like to talk about it. Aside from that, Issei spoke with Rias and the others about Vala's plan, which was make Issei go to a place in order to meet with Vala, but he would never arrive. Members of the Chaos Brigade would attack him. Vala would go to his house in order to make them his slaves, accuse the security of conspiring with Rizvim, and send Issei to the worst prison for traitorous demons, torture Issei in every way possible. When they heard each word, they were disgusted. They preferred to be killed than to be without Issei, and more so to be his slaves. How disgusting. They wanted to warn the faction of Vala's betrayal, but Issei stopped them. Stop, don't worry, I have a plan. I just need you to listen. And Issei will explain to them how Vala will seduce them. Vala will release pheromones that will make them excited and make them lose their minds for pleasure. I just need you to play along. I'll take care of the rest. This will prevent them from falling into his game, he said while giving them something. But what are you planning, Issei? Rias said. Let's say you laugh for an eye. And this one smiled. That day will be the day after tomorrow. Hey, so soon? Yes. A few days ago he contacted me to meet me in the forest outside of Kwa. We know what that cheap dragon is going to try. Lemon skipped. But Issei, you are so bad, they all said while getting excited, and he smiled. He gave them a look, to which they understood. The next morning Issei and company were sleeping. Issei wakes up and sees his phone, and it was a message from Rennie. It seems like she wanted to see him at noon, which would be in 30 minutes. He got up, he took a shower and changed, and left the house. A while later, Issei saw Lavi sitting at the fountain. He saw her, and she had a nice smile. Issei approached and greeted her. He noticed how nervous she was and blushed at the same time. Hello, Icon, Lavi said while playing with his fingers like Hinata. Something cool is happening. Ito. I know, let's go eat and then let's see what else happens. And she takes his arm and they leave from there. A while after Issei and Rennie's missed date, they were both sitting by the park fountain. Issei gets up and goes and buys ice cream for the two of them. They both try the ice cream. Rennie smashes the ice cream on Issei's nose. He does the same. They both seem to be having fun, until Rennie lost her balance and fell into the water. But she accidentally took Issei with her. Both were there, Rennie on his chest. Rennie sees what happens and I feel her heart speed up. She looks into Issei's eyes, and without realizing it, she started kissing Issei. They both kiss, and Rennie notices what she did, and she separates from him and says sorry, and runs away from there. Issei gets up to go look for her. When he arrives, he sees her sitting crying. He approaches her and asks for forgiveness. She looks at him and says, "Why? For kissing you. I'm not crying about that, Baka. In fact, I've felt weird around you for days now. This is wrong. I'm in love with my best friend," she said through tears. And the worst part is that I don't love my fiancé anymore. I feel guilty for doing this to him. I'm trash for loving someone else. Issei can't hold it in any longer and kisses her. It was a normal kiss. Rennie wanted to get away, but deep down she wanted that and ended up letting herself go. When you separated, because you did it. Since I met you I saw you as a friend, but as the days went by and I was by your side I developed a feeling. I thought it was wrong. Let me clarify. Issei didn't want to sleep with her to make Vala pay. He just wanted her to end it. But destiny decided otherwise and he fell in love with her too. I thought you would only see me as a friend. But just knowing that you love me, it gives me hope to fight for you. I know you didn't plan this, but it was destiny that brought us together. Maybe you never loved that boy, but It's not over yet, because Issei kissed her with love again. Rennie feels my heartbeat. See, this is love. I don't care about anything. I just want to have you. And he kept kissing her. Rennie didn't care anymore. She doesn't love Vala anymore. I'm sorry, Vala, but I don't love you anymore. I love this man. He makes my heart race so fast. Something I never felt when I was by your side. I'm sorry, but I have fallen in love with him. And they both went from there to Rennie's house. Revenge is a bitch. The night was still young. Issei and Lavinia shared that beautiful kiss under the moonlight. Even though Issei never thought of stealing someone else's woman, That was a feeling he liked. Well, Vala wanted to steal the girl's first time. He even plans to set a trap for him so he'll be arrested and sent to a maximum security prison. He wants to take everything from him, the girls, even buck them while he watches. Just thinking about what would have happened if that had happened makes his blood boil and makes his dragon instincts come out, and he thinks about doing the same thing to her. Maybe he didn't plan on falling in love with Lavinia, but this will certainly help him make the traitor Vala pay. Issei and Lavi separated. She looked at him with heart-shaped eyes. As much as it hurt to do this to Vala, loser, bastard, his father was killed with a shotgun to the balls, traitor, bore, etc., she couldn't ignore her heart. She remembered her mother. If that man comes to you and makes your heart race, and every time you see him you smile out of nowhere, that's the day you've found your soulmate. Lavi never felt his heart race when he was with Vala, but Issei, since he met him, he felt a pang in his chest. Lavi looked at him and cupped his cheek. They left the fountain and ran, holding hands, toward his house. Elsewhere, everything is ready for tomorrow, okay? Yes, Grandpa. Tomorrow will be the day I buck the DXD group, and Hayate Issei dies. Ha ha ha. They both laugh like crazy. I can't wait to see Hayate's face when he sees me bucking his women in front of him and impregnating them with my children day and night without stopping. That's good. But leave me the redhead's mom. Of course, Grandpa. We will both take back what belongs to us. Yeah, we'll see when we kill those fake Mao. Changing the subject to Vala, when is the wedding? And Vala changes his arrogant smile and says, in a week. Why? I want grandchildren and soon. Lemon skipped. Seriously. She always puts on her innocent face when I kiss her. That's why I'll wait for our wedding day, when she and I will truly know each other. That's why she has remained a virgin for me. You know I'm going to call her. While saying that, elsewhere Department of, yes Issei give me more. Ha, Lemon skipped. Issei. That's my point. Fixing my mistake. 23K1K. New high school DXD project. But this time Rias will be more or less the protagonist of this 100% real, non-fake story. The strongest hybrid 18 love letter. 8.2K463. New high school DXD project before wanting to make a story of betrayal but very different from the conventional ones because of all these stories are a simple EXP. Me and How to Train Your Dragon. Death to the Dragon. 24.9K 1.6K. This is my first story. Please, if you don't like it, don't come insulting the story. Thanks. Strongest Wizard. 196K 22.5K. Led to death by a girl, transformed into a demon by that incredibly beautiful woman. He believed he had everything to live as he wished, being strong enough to. Under the sight. She doesn't believe in anyone. He doesn't care for anyone. She was trained to disappear. He was raised to destroy. They weren't wanted. They weren't needed. They shouldn't have crossed. Issei the weakest human. 85.1K 4.2K. Betrayal and despair were what Issei received for all the things he did for the girls. He's waiting, and the just punishment they deserve will begin. He's no longer. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? Ongoing HAA. At that she comes and falls to the ground on all fours. Issei, give me a break, I'm feeling sensitive. Lemon skipped. Issei gave Lavi attacks. Lavi, I'm going to run. Do it inside me. No problem. Both changed positions, and Issei comes inside. Ha, Lemon skipped. At the moment I was at 4 and Issei touched a certain place. Wait, that's my. Ha, Lavi-chan. I want all of you. I want to kiss, lick and taste all of you. Even this hole wants more. With your moans that says you want it. Or am I wrong? And Lavi turns red. It's okay. I'll give you all of me. My heart and all of me are yours now. Take me and make me your wife. I won't let anyone have you. Only I can kiss you and make love to you, Lavi. I love you. They both kiss. And Lavi positions herself while Issei continues stimulating her ass. In that, Issei slowly puts his member into her. Lavi screams in pain, but soon it disappears, and he starts to like it. More Issei. Lemon skipped. While Lavi and Issei continue making love. Just then Lavi's cell phone rings. She comes closer and says, "It's worth it." What do I do? Answer. But, don't worry, I won't do anything. Well, hi, I'm Vala. Hi Vala, what's up? Are you okay? Yes, I am. I just wanted to say goodnight and tell you that I love you. I'm fine. In that, Issei penetrates her and Lavi tries to hold back her moan. Something cool is happening. No, I just saw the dress I wanted and got excited because it was available. Glad to hear it. I want to see you now. I want us to be husband and wife. I want everything with you. I'm fine. I tried to hold on because Issei did it on purpose. I love you. See you later, future wife. And they both hang up. Lavi with a pout says, what would have happened if he had discovered us? Lavi doesn't care, and Issei kisses her. I can't be mad at you. And they both kiss while he attacks her. A little while later, Issei and Lavi fall tiredly into bed. They both look into each other's eyes and smile. I want you to make me your wife. I don't want to be with Vala. You do what he doesn't. And that's it. May my heart race when I'm with you. I will make you the happiest woman in the world. Hayate Issei, my soul. My heart and my body are yours. Just love me as I love you. They both kiss and begin to close their eyes while holding hands. Somewhere else. Where's Issei? Said an excited redhead. Calm down, laugh, Nei-sama. He said tomorrow will be an unforgettable day. You're right, Asia. We need to sleep. We need energy for tomorrow. In a lustful tone. The end of Lucifer. 1. In a room, the sun's rays came out and gave light to a couple. Lavi began to wake up. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was a head of brown hair. She approached and kissed the boy on the lips. She still couldn't believe everything she did last night. She wasn't overcome with guilt, if that's what you want to know. What filled her was the happiness of having found something better than a platinum-haired man. Issei wakes up, seeing no reaction from him. I thought something perverted. Lemon skipped. Issei, what is this feeling? He began to open his eyes and saw Lavi riding his member. Delicious, said Issei, raising his hands to touch Lavi's breasts. Lemon skipped. Issei, if you do that, I'm going to. Lemon skipped. My turn, and Issei caught her off guard and placed her on all fours and began to ride her like a stallion mounts a mare in heat. Lemon skipped. Elsewhere. Everything is ready. The army that ambushed the red dragon is ready. Okay. Very good. Just missing something. He takes his cell phone and calls. With Issei and Lavi. Ring ring. Issei sees the number and already knows what's going to happen. While he continues hitting Lavinia hard, he answers. Well, Hayadu. I'm Vala. Hello, how are you? Ha, moans Issei. Something's wrong. No, nothing. While spanking Lavi for being naughty. What do you want? I'm busy. I just wanted to meet up and explain to you what happened in that part. I understand. Where do I see you? Outside, Qua. Because Issei said it seriously. According to. You know I'm a criminal and no one can see me. True. See you there at 4. If you do something like that, I'll castrate you. Don't worry, Hayadu. That won't happen. And he hangs up. It won't happen if you're alive. Haha. Everything is ready, Grandpa. Okay. I'm going with them. I want to see him suffer. And this one leaves with his men. Now all that's left is to go to his house in Hayadu. How the Gremorys will moan. I have to find out. And he leaves the place. With Issei. Who was it? Said Lavi. Only a loser, said calmly. I hate losers. And you should. This guy hits the jackpot with everything he's done. But first. And Issei puts his finger somewhere else. Issei takes his cell phone and sends a text message. Hayada residence. Ring. The girls wake up. Who is Bucho? It's Issei. He says that Rizvim has already been mobilized to ambush my lovely Issei. That damn Vala. How dare he? Don't worry. He'll make you pay. Get dressed like Issei said and let's wait for that idiot to arrive. Hi. The Lust of Infinity Special. 1. Issei was walking through Qua Park, alone because it was his birthday. It seems that the girls made an effort to get him to come out to throw him a surprise party. Well, not so much of a surprise because they didn't know how to hide it. So Issei left, and they happily began preparing for their surprise party. According to the party, it's something else. Issei was walking through the park when he suddenly sees someone sitting looking at the sky. Issei without any fear approaches and greets. Hello, Ophis. She looks at him and points at him. Hayada Issei, Welsh Dragon. How are you? How have you been? He asks as he sits down next to her. She looks at him and says, things aren't going well. Without the Chaos Brigade that betrayed me, I can't beat Great Red, he said as if nothing happened. Issei understood that tone. Despite not showing any emotion, that tone was in itself somewhat sad. I see, Issei said looking at the sky. It's beautiful, don't you think? She looked at him and saw how Issei shared the same thing as her. You're right. Despite being the human world, this sky is calm, full of harmony and peace. Ophis, can I ask you a question? She looks at him. Because you want to master the dimensional gap. For the silence. Issei smiles. What are you laughing at? Did I say something? No, quite the opposite. But you're right. We all search for our own peace. You may not understand this, but my peace is being with the people I love, thinking about the girls. Ophis looks at him curiously. Love, what is that? Issei says. Love is like when you see that special person and you know you wouldn't want to let them go for anything in the world. When you one day understand love, your heart beats 1,000 times for that person. Just being near them will make you talk. But at the same time, you'll stutter in sadness because you don't know what to say. You understand. And Ophis is left thinking. That feeling is complicated. He laughs. Issei. Ophis looks at him. Even though everyone is afraid of me, I see that you are not. You talk to me like you would anyone else. I know. I still haven't thanked you in part for helping me that time when I lost control. Ophis remembers and says there's no need to be thankful. Issei smiles and takes something from his bag, takes Ophis's hand and places a bracelet with the dragon symbol on it. And this is because, to thank you, Ophis. I know everyone is afraid of you, but I'm not. If you ever need a place to go, my house will always be there for you. Issei gets up and before leaving, even if you don't believe it, smiling would make you look beautiful. Goodbye, Ophis. And Issei left, leaving the gothic loli sitting with her bangs covering her face. At that moment Ophis thought about Issei's last words and smiled. I'll do it, Hayadu, and disappeared into a gap. A small heartbeat began to resonate in the gothic loli's heart, red heart. With Issei. Some time had passed, and before going home Issei was surprised by 2 hands that covered his eyes. Issei smelled her essence, and without anyone seeing he moved his hands back and began to touch 2 different breasts. Kaya, Issei smiled. Toryami-chan. Happy birthday, Issei. And both of them hugged Issei in a sandwich. Issei felt the softness of both of their breasts, and couldn't contain himself. So he took both of them by the hands and they left there for a hotel. They were both happy because their boyfriend would make love to them again. As we entered the hotel, a being was floating, watching that scene. What could that be? And disappeared to see what was happening. Ophis. Lemon skipped. Ophis sat down and began to watch with a cute face as her cheeks turned red. Interesting seeing how they now changed positions and the screams of pleasure could be heard all over the place. After a while, Issei left both sleeping blondes at his house because the pleasure left them with nothing. Issei took a shower since it would be a problem if Kaneko and Kuroka smelled him. Ophis kept watching. The strange thing was that she was twisted, something new for her. She had never seen a dragon and a female copulate like crazy in her life. The essence that was left impregnated in both of them reached the loli's nose, causing spasms in her. For some reason he found that scene somewhat exciting. The betrayal. The day had arrived. Issei talked to Rias and the others about how things would be. Issei knew that if Vala fought, he would alert the other factions. That's why he has a plan A and a plan B in case things go wrong. Girls, first of all, sorry for making you do this. Rias and the others smiled. We're in this together, Issei. And besides, we all have to do it. How the hell do we like to see traitors suffer? For that reason, and because he wanted, or rather wants, to kill you and grape us. So this is a settling of scores. No one messes with our family. Issei smiled and kissed each of them. By the way, where is Kiba and Gasper? I haven't seen them in days. And Issei left the house and tried to arrive an hour early. POV Vala. Well, it's time, Grandpa. Soon I'll see that idiot Hayata suffer. I can't wait to see his face when he sees me de-virginize each of his girls in front of him, and they beg me to give them my children. He's such an idiot that he has a girl and she's still a virgin. Ha! He laughed maniacally. Okay, everything is ready. Okay. Vala and his grandfather agreed to impersonate Issei and wipe out demonic houses. Minute later, that's all. Vala calls Issei. Hey Hayadu, what's happening? I'm here now. Kuroka and Lefei insisted on coming to see you. They say they want to show you something. Seriously, in a perverted tone, Issei pretends, I'm going there. Hanging up the call. Ha ha ha. Pathetic to think he and she would be together. That's pathetic. Kuroka and Lefei belong to me, not you, you stupid, shitty red dragon. Well, Grandpa, I leave everything in your hands. If Vala go for them, tiger. And he walks away with an arrogant smile. Okay, everything is ready. In 30 minutes the security should arrive, said Rizvim, giving instructions on how to fight against him. End of POV. POV Issei. Issei smiles after cutting the call. They are so stupid. Issei walks to get a better look at how his army was formed. MMM100 will be a challenge. HMP. In that, Issei sees 3 people talking with Vala. Oh, why are you guys? And Issei takes several photos and sends them to someone along with a text. A few minutes later he receives another message from the people who sent those photos, saying, it's a shame. He was a good knight. He was a good Kohai. He was a good pawn. Do what you have to do. You have permission from me and Sochan. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? Issei smiled and said, of all the people I never thought you were the ones giving him information. Now everything fits together perfectly. Saki, Kiba, Gasper. Now I see why I didn't see them all this time. I want to see the faces of those idiots when this is all over. I feel sorry for Tsuchan. While thinking about the Queen of Sona, what does it matter? I'll comfort her again. I'll upload a special of Tsubaki and Issei with Sona later. Then he sees that Vala is about to leave. Well, it's time. And Issei camouflages himself and hides his power and goes to where the Rizvim group is. Well, it's time. And Rizvim walks away from there with Issei. It's my chance and it goes wherever I am. Issei comes up behind him and delivers a strong blow to the back of his head, causing him to fall unconscious. Ready. And Issei recites a spell that Sona taught him. Issei transformed into Rizvim, and Rizvim transformed him into Issei. That's it. Putting magic into him so you can see it's him. Now for the main course. At that, he charges up with power and throws it into the void. Hayate Issei is here, Issei shouted. At that point the whole army surrounded him. Okay sir, said an ally. Yes, that brat was strong. Take him out of here and you know what to do. The guards and the trio of idiots took him to the lair. Minutes later, Issei, Rizvim wakes up, sees what is happening and tries to speak but he couldn't because his feet, hands and mouth were tied. He shouted loudly, but everyone ignored him. At that Saji comes closer and strikes. Shut up, you idiot, he said angrily. You know, I always wanted to hit you. How is someone like you always surrounded by such beauties? Especially Asia-chan and Irina-chan. I hated you, but I had to restrain myself every time they made faces at you. That's why Vala contacted me. If I helped him, he would let me make them mine afterward. I thought it would be difficult, but look in a mirror. You have no escape. And Saji started hitting poor Issei, Rizvim. I had to become your friend just to be close to them. Now that you're gone, I'll take care of Asia, Irina, and Sona-chan. Triple A, my sweet president. Connecting a right to Issei, Rizvim, making him go backwards. Issei, Rizvim, was in too much pain to speak. How did this happen? Seeing the imposter with an ugly look, Saji wiped the blood off and let Kiba do whatever he wanted with him. Hello Issei-kun with an evil smile. You may wonder why I do this. Easy. You stole Xenovia from me. He pulls out his sword and stabs it into her shoulder. This one screams. Kiba laughs and says, the day I met her, despite her being my enemy at the time, I liked the way she wielded her sword. She was just like me. But you, burying his sacred sword deeper. Every time I wanted to hang out with her while training, I just asked what you liked. I wanted to know everything about you. That pissed me off. That's why I turned to Vala and I'm here, friend. Now I will be able to give you the children you so desire. He laughs madly. Goodbye, friend. Rizvim, Issei, wow, I didn't think they loved me so much. Poor face, cynically looking at his double with a smile. Issei, Rizvim, looks at him and he winks at him mockingly. Gasper approached my doppelganger and simply mentioned that he did this to be more of a man. He read that killing someone close to him changes your mind and attitude. And he mentioned something about Kaneko-chan, that he would be more of a man to protect her and repopulate the Nikomata species, and I tried to hit my double. Those girlish blows. Jack, I laughed seeing all this. I wonder what will happen to the girls. Bye-bye Lucifer. POV Vala. Everything is ready. At that moment he receives several images of a seriously wounded Issei, Rizvim. Vala smiled and said, this is paradise. He arrived and knocked on the door of a residence. They opened the door. Hello, Vala. We can talk, this Hayadu. He's not here. He went to see Azazel-sensei. I see, with a triumphant smile. I wanted to explain about the other time. Can I come in? You won't do anything to us. That's why I want to explain what happened that time. Please. Okay, come in. And Rias let the white-haired guy in. Inside the house. We heard you well. The members of the Gremory clan said, sitting and staring at Vala. He smiled and without the Gremorys seeing or smelling it, a very strong aphrodisiac began to spread throughout the room. The girls looked closely and said, Issei was right, Vala has sunk so low. Doing this just to get us into bed, how pathetic. Following the plan, they pretended to blush and feel hot. Vala happily approached them with the idea of touching their breasts. When they felt Vala near them, they felt disgusted. So they managed to let Vala go up to the main room to get comfortable. He sat down on Issei's bed and said, finally, Hayadu, I've taken everything from you. Your girls are ready for me. All that's left is for you to watch from prison as I impregnate them with my semen while you rot away in a cell for the rest of your life. Ha ha ha. He then lies down and feels something under his pillow. He lifts it up and sees a disc that says, "Revenge is a bitch. What will it be?" in a mocking tone. He takes out the disc and puts it in the DVD player. He turns on the television and sees that it is a recording. Lemon skipped. 4 minutes had passed and now the girl could be heard screaming with pleasure. "AAA, you are amazing." A girl's moans could be heard. "Ha ha ha, there's Hayadu. You even keep your porn in your pillow. How pathetic." "Wait, that voice is from..." Vala made a sad face and started crying. "That's Lavinia. And that other one is Hayadu. What the hell is going on?" "Trying to move." "What the heck?" "Because I can't move." "Vala, apparently what the Gremory gave you to drink is a paralyzing poison." "Vali, we have to do something. I don't like this." And Vala stopped thinking and just watched Issei buck Lavi. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? Vala listens, but nothing Albion said could shake Vala out of shock. Now Vala is broken inside. "No, please, stop. Stop doing it to my wife." "Hyodua," Vala shouted in anger when he saw Lavi talking to him on the phone. "I remember now. That time I was talking to her, I heard someone's noises." "Don't tell me." "And I kept watching the tape without being able to move. I saw how Lavi begs Issei to put it back in." "No, Lavi swore that I will rescue you and beat Hayadu to death." "Ni Lavi." "No, Issei, that's my I'm going to put it in." "Hi, be nice, it's my first time." "I understand." "No, Lavi, in that Gimme a Lavi." After having been de-virginized from behind, after a few minutes I started to like it. From one moment to the next she took control and changed position. "Issei, you are the best." Vala's ex was moaning with everything. "Issei, I love you," Lavi said while kissing Issei. "No, you love me, Lavi. He's controlling you." "Lavi, I'm about to finish. Give me everything. I will receive all your love in my womb. Let me pregnant with our child." "I love you, Lavi." I love you, Issei." Gimme a Lavi. Having received everything. After that Issei separated from her and Lavi spilled a little, while having a satisfied face. "Issei, I love you." And they both kiss each other. Vala had a disturbed face. Then Vala sees Issei and Lavi lying down and starting to talk. Issei and Lavi fall tiredly into bed. They both look into each other's eyes and smile. "I want you to make me your wife. I don't want to be with Vala. You do what he doesn't. And that's it." Vala looks at Lavi crying. "Don't say it. May my heart race when I'm with you. I will make you the happiest woman in the world." "Hayada, Issei, my soul, my heart and my body are yours. Just love me as I love you." They both kiss and begin to close their eyes while holding hands. After that the tape ends. Vala screams. Then the door opens and the Gremorys come out wearing a very transparent dress. Era. It seems Vala-kun saw something. Akino River. Rias comes over and slaps Vala. "That was because of the other time." "I thought that," said Vala. "Oh. I thought we would cheat on Issei with you. You're pathetic. Issei smells better than you. Issei is imprinted on our bodies. He's not only in my mind but also in my heart." Lemon skipped. "Issei has it bigger than you," he said with a sinister face. "What will they do to me?" "Nothing." "Did you know where Issei was?" "Yeah." "Oh really?" "Because I think he's about to die." "You think so? What are you talking about?" "Issei is very cautious." "Rather, the one who is about to die is your grandfather." "How do they know?" Just then someone comes in the door. "Grandpa," said Vali. Vala laughs and says, "You did it, Grandpa. I wanted him alive. But what does it matter? Now untie me." But this one didn't do anything. Rizvim Issei throws the head of Issei, Rizvim, to the ground. "What's happening?" At that Issei's head begins to shine. "No," Vala screamed when he saw that Issei was his grandfather. "Damned." Seeing the real Issei with a smile. "Hello, Vala." "Reckoning." "Damn. 1,000 times damned." Hayadu Issei shouted Vala Lucifer in anger. "Jump." Issei looks at him seriously and says, "And what are you, Vala? You are much worse than me. You are a dirty traitor who is going to stab me where it hurts the most." Looking at the girls who were behind him, Vala says crying, "Because you stole Lavinia from me." "Why?" "Because? I don't know, but I'm sure of one thing, and that's that I love her more than you do. I can make her the happiest woman in the world, better than you could have ever made her happy. I make her smile. I make her heart beat 1,000 times an hour just by looking at me. On the other hand, you, or have you forgotten exactly what she said? You're lying. You're controlling her, damn it. When I get out of here, I'll kill you and everything related to you. I have an army." "Seriously?" And Issei shows an image where many dead people lie in the distance of Kwa. Vala is surprised and says, "How come?" "I told you. Issei is more cautious than you think." Vala Lucifer said Rias, taking Issei's hand while they look seriously at Vala. "Damned. 1,000 times cursed." Vala said desperately. There's Vala. Issei shook his head. What happened to you? You used to think you were going to be the dragon god. Look at you. You're alone. You're wrong. Arthur, Biqua, Kuroka and Lefei are still with me. They'll come save me. Sorry, Vala, but our place is with Issei. And from the shadows came Kuroka and Lefei. Vala remained static. I talked to Biqua and Arthur about what you were like. They both left you and joined the factions. They said you're just like your grandfather. Consider it our renunciation. Vala starts to cry. Kuroka, we were supposed to make strong babies, said Vala. Naya, I'm sorry, but that place belongs to Issei. Naya. And Kuroka approaches and kisses him. Issei opens his eyes and looks at Vala. In the first 37 seconds. Because, why are you doing this to me, said Vala, crying. Issei separates from Kuroka, approaches and stands face to face. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? You dare to tell me why? And Issei hits Vala. Damn, what were you going to do to me after this? Looking seriously at the white-haired man. I don't know what you're talking about. Issei punches Vala in the stomach. Lemon skipped, and Issei delivers a series of blows to this one's face. Okay, I accept it. If I was going to do all that to you, damn Hayadu, with an arrogant face, I was going to make them mine day and night until your memory was just yesterday. And now what? You're going to kill me. Do it. My soul will haunt you for all eternity. I will return and take revenge. Do it. No, you can come in. And Issei approached the door and opened it. Vala stood still and said, Lavi. So it was all true, Vala, Lavi said, entering the room. Why are you here? He said excitedly. I couldn't told me about you and I didn't want to believe him. But with this I realized that everything I did for you wasn't worth it. And Lavi approaches Issei. I didn't wash it. It's a lie. He made me say it. Don't lie. I know about you. And to think that I loved you once. What do you mean I love you? What does that mean? Gomen Vala. But now I realize that I never loved you. My heart always belonged to Icon. Not only my heart, my soul and my body are all his. At that, Lavi uncovers his right arm and says, Do you see it? Vala remains static. Icon has marked me as his. He can only touch me. I'm sorry, Vala, but now I'm Issei's and he's mine. As he approaches and kisses him in front of Vala, they both approach each other blushing. Stop, Vala said, crying. The other girls present said, angry that Lavi took control before them. The girls separate them and say he's mine. Lavi laughs and says, we can share. The other girls think about it and nod, shaking hands. It's okay. Nah, Issei, I feel you a little hard down here, Lavi said, putting his hand on Issei's crotch. Wait, not in front of him, said Issei, referring to Vala. It doesn't matter. He can see us not enjoying it. You just said the right words. As Issei stood behind Lavi, grabbing her breasts. Moaning loudly. Stop. I'll do whatever you want, but let her go. Don't worry, Vala. He's mine and I'm his. Vala was shocked by what he had just heard. I know what you can do. And this one looks at him. You can shut up and watch. While the other Gremorys nodded, they covered his mouth and tied him up in case he tried to escape. I want to do it too, said the Gremorys, watching how Issei and Lavi did it in front of Vala. Don't worry. Issei said that we would follow later. But Issei-kun Sansama senpai, they all said excitedly. Vala had a look of terror. At that, Issei stopped massaging her breasts. Because you stop. Issei bends down and unbuttons the button on her pants, and begins to pull down her pants and panties. Lemon skipped. Issei starts rubbing his fingers on it, while moaning and starting to get excited. After a moment, Issei lowers his zipper, taking out his member, starting to rub it in the privacy of Lavi. Don't play with me, Icon. What was that word? You'll make me say it, Issei. Yep. Lemon skipped. Issei smiles and charges at Lavi suddenly. Lavi started moaning for more. Vala just stands in front of them with his gaze lost, and he just says, if this is a nightmare, someone wake me up. The power of revenge. Lemon skipped. That morbidness excited her. Being seen by other people caused that excitement like never before. Even if she closed her eyes so as not to be seen by others, they still opened them, and that fire in her invaded her, and gave her more and more pleasure. On the other hand, Lavi noticed how the other girls formed almost a half circle behind Vala, and watched how her boyfriend was bucking her in front of him, and them, and they were just red. Lavi noticed how you laughed so much, and the others began to lower their hands to the lowest part of them, and began to rub themselves. Seeing that made her come and fall before the lost look of Vala, who only cried and said, "Stop, I beg you." Lavi just gasped to come fast. Lemon skipped. Issei turns his face and says, "That feels worth it." He pulls himself together and looks at him. "It feels like all the things that were going to happen to me at this moment have been reversed." He looks into his eyes and Issei says, "You were going to do this to me, weren't you? Instead of washing her, you would laugh right now. Just thinking about those things fills me with anger. This is your fault, Vala. If you hadn't shown up that afternoon with the girls and plotted against me with your grandfather, this wouldn't have happened. Although I must admit that thanks to you I met Lavi. Don't you think, Lavi-chan? We should thank Vala for this, don't you think?" "Hi, thanks, Vaekuin. If it weren't for you, I would never have met Issei, and this feeling of pleasure that Vaekuin gives me." Lemon skipped. "Stop," cried Vala. "You started it right. If it weren't for your envy, none of this would happen." Lemon skipped. "You came too much. I'll get pregnant with your child, Issei." As she turns around and kisses him. "But Issei," Rias and Aquino said angrily. Issei smiles and says, "Come on." Issei separates from Lavi and goes to Rias and Aquino. He kisses Rias, while he begins to caress Aquino's breasts. "Ni Issei, if you laugh, you have to do it in bed." "I understand." At that Issei kicks Vala and says, "Watch Vala carefully. See how I make love to them with passion, while washing makes a pout while still wanting more." "Come on, Lavi-chan," said Issei. This happy one goes towards him. 5 minutes later, Lemon skipped. "Stop," Vala Lucifer cried. He realized his mistakes and began to regret everything. But it was too late. This was just the beginning of the real hell. This is undoubtedly the power of Hayate Issei's revenge, which he should never have interfered with. Fight of Celestials. Point 1. Vala had collapsed from the huge emotional burden she received from seeing me copulate all night. After all the girls and I made love nonstop that night, I saw his look of horror. That face he wanted me to make, that's what he wanted to do to me. Or what if he would have done this to me in the future? I don't know exactly, but I think it's time for the real fight between the two Celestials. I've already taken what he wanted most. From the looks of it, what he craves now is revenge, and I'm going to give it to him. It's time to settle our disputes. It's time for Saji, Kiba, Gasper and Vala to reunite. I still can't believe what they really felt. How I never used my bilingual skills on others and realized they were self-serving vipers. After this there is much to do. I gave a deep sigh as I began to open my eyes. I woke up to find everyone in bed, fast asleep and with pretty faces. After this, it'll be time for Yami, Sona, Tsubaki, and finally, Office to come live here. A few hours later, Issei walked up to an unconscious Vala. I took it and left the house. We arrived at a place where there was no one. I woke him up and saw his face full of hate. "Are you going to kill me? It wasn't enough for you to steal my wife. I didn't bring you here for that." I took something out of my pocket and gave it to him to drink. "A phoenix tear so that I'll give you the chance and you try to kill. But if you can't HMP, you'll lose everything." He laughed and said, "Then I'll make you pay. I'll kill you and get my wife back. And while I'm at it, I'll have those bitches grade day and night." Well, it seems that it's okay to dream, but in your case, that's never going to happen. "It's time," Red said Albion, demonstrating in Vala. "You're right, Blanco. When my partner and I defeat them, it's too soon to say. Better that he says it in the end. Don't you think so?" And this one laughs. "Ha ha ha, what a good joke, Red. You're in for a big surprise, White. Just watch." Issei unties Vala and walks away. Vala stood up and looked at Issei in anger, and remembered what he did to Lavi, causing him to explode in anger and fiercely increase his power. Issei doesn't even flinch and just watches. Now Vala scream Albion, balance breaker. At full speed he launched himself at Issei. Upon impact, a vortex was created. Everything flew out. You could feel a lot of oppression in the air. Dust was discovered and Vala was looking for Issei. "Hey piece of shit, you were looking for me." This one looked, and it was Issei on top of a mountain as if nothing had happened. Damn, Vala got angry just hearing it. "You said it yourself a while ago." That's what Hayate says. "Get angrier and stronger. Entertain me. Now I say, entertain me, you piece of shit." While I'm laughing, Vala thinks, I hate to admit it, but I'll need KingCrownedClown's help. Issei heard what he said with his bilingual ability. He smiled and said, "Hey, okay." He looked up and saw Issei taking something out of a magic circle. Seeing this, he was horrified. How is it that he saw Issei holding the head of the evil dragon called KingCrownedClown? The idiot kissed my feet so I wouldn't kill him. But look, this is one of the causes of much destruction these days. What do you think, friend? Drake deserved to die. He has no honor. He died like a cockroach. Iba. True. Have it. And Issei threw his head from him to Vala's feet. Now I'll show you something worth it. I just hope you don't bore me because otherwise I'll kill you. At that, the place began to crack. Issei expelled a great deal of power, far surpassing Vala's. Dragon who stole the principles of God's domain. I am the one who despises everything. I will make the blood of my enemies flow. And even worse for the traitors, I'll make them pay for all eternity in crimson purgatory. Imperial Dragon Drive. How is it that he has the power of Ophis and Great Red? Lucifer said fearfully. From the shadows, a being classified as the new dragon god could be seen. Issei versus Vala. Massive amounts of power were tearing through the whole place. Issei had no end. His power was beginning to destroy the place. Vala couldn't believe what was happening at this moment. The one who took away his family and the love of his life had surpassed what he longed for so much. To be a god, a dragon of dragons. Damn high to Issei, damned 1,000 times. Even so, I won't stop. I hope you're ready, Lucifer said Issei from the top of the mountain. Damn, 1,000 times damn. Issei laughed. From one moment to the next Issei disappeared. Vala didn't see until he was grabbed by the head and dragged all over the place. Lemon skipped. I told you that if you didn't entertain me you would pay for it. Issei threw Vala away from there. Vala, we must do something. His power grows more and more. If you don't counter their attacks, we'll lose the fight. And you know we've been humiliated. I know. He raises his hand and says, divide, divide, divide. That's valid. Steal their power and become strong. This one felt good. He stood up and said, well, let's start, you damn red. Issei felt his power drain. Nothing bad, he said, his powers increasing. Boost X20. This one runs at high speed while carrying a power ball. The attack hit his stomach, sending him far away from the place. Hag. Divide, divide, divide. Vala crashed into a mountain. Meanwhile, what do we do? Yes, Issei. Don't worry, we must trust him. After all, while looking at a ring on her finger. You're right, the others said, imitating Akino's gesture. Now Issei will be with us until eternity. They all become happy and decide to cheer on their future husband in his final predestined battle. With Issei and Vala, the whole place was destroyed. Ruins everywhere. Hag. The sound of Vala was heard. Issei had him by the neck. Very good fight. But you're about to reach your limit. Give up now, okay? Hag. Hamaz le Hag hair. Damn. Issei gets tired. He picks him up and kicks him, sending him crashing into the mountains. Hag. Vala has no other choice. I know. Vala, surrender now and I will have mercy on you. Damn. You bucked my wife all night in front of me and now you want to forgive me. I won't forgive you. Throwing himself against this, Issei dodges every attack and thinks, if Ophis and Great Red hadn't trained me at that moment. Thank you? He comes out of his mental space and says, no, I'm giving you the chance to give up, but I see that no matter how much I say, you will always be just like your grandfather. He grabs him by the feet and spanks him again and again and again. He lets go and he staggers towards the wall while bleeding. Lose. That's why I hate you, damn it. You have everything I want. That's why I was going to do that to you. I was going to buck her day after day in front of you, with a psychopathic face. If I die, I will come back and get revenge. Issei felt sorry for him. Issei put magic on his fingers and threw it at it. She approaches him and says, you never deserved Lavinia. She saw something false in you and that's why she left you. And you know better than anyone that she and I will be happy, while you and those traitors rot. I won't let you have her. She belongs to me. With the girls, Lavi realized that Vala was crazy, and realized that it's not worth it. With Issei, you're wrong, as she slaps him. Lavi was never yours. She and I fell in love from the first moment we saw each other. I knew I wanted to be with her, just like I did with Rias and the others. I loved them like crazy. With the girls, they were happy and blushing for Issei. Issei, I love him, Lavi said with heart-shaped eyes. We told you that Issei is a special being. I know. With Issei, I'm already tired, Vala. At that point he lets it go. Issei charges power into his hand and puts it on his face. Goodbye, Vala. At that moment, Vala was knocked out. Issei sees him and says goodbye. Lucifer, hell, listen to song. Issei had just hit Valley, leaving him unconscious. He looks at him and just sighs. Albion, who was still present, only heard Drake's laughter. I told you, Albion, but you never listen. I told you that this host of all, and now you and your stupid carrier will be suffering for all eternity. Albion didn't say anything. It was true, now Drake has won. So he no longer sees the point in continuing his destined fight. It was obvious he won, with the dragon's pride broken. Now it's only fair to pass on the fate with its bearer. Issei took Vala, and before leaving he just felt sorry for him and his ex-friends. Flashback 1 hour ago. Issei Rizvim watched as the entire army beat up his false self. Rizvim Issei was devastated. For some reason, Issei imitated his smile and began to laugh at seeing how he was being beaten incessantly by each of his subordinates, who knew nothing. Rizvim Issei looked him in the eyes, and Issei Rizvim just winked at him in mockery. He didn't say or do anything, they just completely destroyed him. It would be a miracle if he said anything, but it was too late. His vocal cords were severed by Kiba. Gasper looked pathetic, wanting to hit him. Saji just insulted her about how he would do it to Irina and Asia, and Kiba PSSS stopped laughing because it was time to leave and see Vala. Sorry guys, but this ends here, said Issei/Rizvim. They all said goodbye, and Issei charged an excessive amount of power in his hand and detonated it against everyone present. He saw that everyone was unconscious. He placed something that neutralized magic and sacred gears, courtesy of Azazel. He walked up to Rizvim Issei. He looked at him in panic. Issei materialized Ascalon and cut off its head. Goodbye, Lucifer. And Issei/Rizvim took his head and went for his next prey. Kromkruch. End of flashback. Issei left the pocket dimension. He took Vala and disappeared. A little while later, someone opened their eyes. Here I am, he realizes, and his hands are chained upwards. What the buck, said Vala. I looked around and there were Kiba, Saji and Gasper. Those three were in different cells, but he could still see them. This one remembers and tries to Safar's. It's useless for you to do it, Vala said, a voice approaching until they were face to face. Hi, Vala exclaimed in anger. Hello, I see you're awake, he said with a smile. What have you done to me, damn it? He said innocently. Yes, stupid. I didn't do anything. Tell them, and he pointed to a group of people. He looked and there were the faction leaders. See you, Vala. I have a date with a Hexy girl you know well, and Issei left. Come back here, damn it, said Vala. Issei left that place, and there were several beauties waiting for him. We're leaving, girls. They pounced on him with a smile. Let's go, and Issei and his girlfriends walked while they were transported to his house to exorcise, or in which case I'll call him. Lemon skipped torture. A few days had passed since the traitors were revealed. That same day those traitors were shown to every demonic being. They were in cages with a collar that suppressed their power. People booed them or threw things at them. Vala was frustrated and in pain knowing that his plans were thwarted by his cursed rival and that his beloved was now in his clutches. Albion bore the shame, as the dragon gods decreed that he was no longer worthy of the celestial title, and he was humiliated by all the dragons who had respected him. Now he was mocked. While that was happening, in the Haida residence, moans could be heard incessantly throughout the night. After a few days ago, Issei convinced Rias to reincarnate Tyr and Yami to his entourage. She wanted to refuse, but he promised her that if she did, he would dedicate a weekend just for her. She gladly accepted, and from this moment on the moans have not stopped. Issei was looking at Rias's eyes just like her. You know I don't regret anything, said Issei. I love you, my cute Issei. They both approached and kissed. 1 week later, Tyr and Yami were introduced to his entourage and girlfriends. The girls looked at the two of them reluctantly. They knew Issei had cheated on them, but they saw how both of them loved Issei madly. Asia quickly became friends with Yami and Ross with Tyr. Little by little they got to know each other, and after a while they became friends. To Rias's surprise, she learned that Yami had an affinity for enlarging his body. To Yami's delight, she knew Issei's tastes and would soon reward him in that regard. With Tyr, she had magic that surpassed Ross's. Anyway, it wasn't a bad idea to reincarnate them as demons. With Lavinia, she wanted to join and adopted 4 pawns to be reincarnated. After a while the group started doing night activities with a certain dragon boy who was a stud in bed. Issei was in the middle of a bed that no longer had any capacity. Mental note: buy a new, bigger bed. Talking to Sona and her entourage about whether or not to tell the girls about a certain relationship he's been secretly having for a couple of months now with another secret concubine that no one knows about. Just him, and when that happens, run as far away from them as possible so as not to be hurt. After that, Issei said in his mind, what will they do to those 4 idiots? Wow, I'm so sleepy. I'd better get some sleep since there's school tomorrow and I don't want to sleep in class. He snuggles into Rias and Akino's chests. After doing so, they both hug him while smiling sleepily. On the other side of the world, more specifically, a maximum security prison in the underworld, Vala was hanging with his hands being beaten by the executioner. Kiba was watching a video over and over again of his friends from the Excalibur clan being killed. Unfortunately for Saji, he saw Issei sleeping with Irina and Asia. What slowly corrupted his mind was that he himself sent a special on how to make babies with the Citri entourage. The ending wasn't pretty, as everyone was sending him greetings and saying they'd do their best to send him a video of themselves getting pregnant. Gasper watched a lot of videos of grapes of traps. One of the guards was a fan of traps, and what's worse, he learned that he personally asked to be tortured. End of POV. After a few days, Issei was happy about something he did, and that was a surprise for her girls. Hell begins. 5 days had passed since Issei defeated Vala Lucifer, and he annihilated the remaining forces of the Chaos Brigade along with his grandfather, and some traitors who formed the DXD group. During those days he was subjected to many beatings by the guards. At the request of an anonymous person, he and the traitors were humiliated like dogs in front of the entire city of Lilith. Vala still hadn't lost hope of getting out, and getting revenge at the hands of his rival and the person who took everything from him. Hiya to Issei. He doesn't know how, but he will do what he must to escape. End of narration. At that moment, some guards took him out of his prison using violence. Where are they taking me? Vala struggled. Shut up, and he received a huge blow to the stomach that knocked all the air out of him. They both take him by the arm and pull him. They enter through a large door. They approach and place Vala on chains that leave him hanging. Let's go, said both guards. Where are you going? Get me out of here. Vala started shouting to get him out of there. But, because you complain a lot, this turns to where everything was dark. The light began to become present, and a male silhouette sitting on a throne was shown. Haida shouted with great anger. Issei looks at him with a smile. I see that you treat the criminals well here. I see that things are not going so badly for you. Damn Haidu, and he tries to kick him. Enough, Vala. Save your energy. Issei approaches and cuts the chains. Vala was still handcuffed. He gets up and tries to do at least a little damage to Issei, but it was useless. Issei dodges the blow and knocks him to the ground with a knee to the stomach. I told you to save your energy. You're more stubborn than your grandfather. Damned, I like it that way. He was going to raise his head, but Issei puts his foot on his head and says, On your knees, dog. You thought you were going to get away with it, he said, putting more force on his foot against Vala's head. Damn, hag, silence. I should have known better, Lucifer. Your blood is filled with a lineage of true sinners. When we became friends and put rivalry aside, I believed in you. But you were plotting things behind my back with those idiots who claimed to call me friend. I never saw that coming, much less from them, but I'm grateful for that. I really am. Saji doesn't expect what will happen to him next. This laughs. I hope you like the pain. At that moment Issei applies great pressure and smashes Vala's head very hard against the ground. You never thought I'd realize, right? Yeah, the agonizing cry of Vala was heard. Take it away. Vala was bleeding from the head as he was dragged backwards towards his cell. I told you, he's not who you thought he was anymore. He's just like his grandfather. Issei said to a person standing a little far away. Thank you. A few days had passed. Apparently those who guard me are guarding me. They brought a TV and a DVD. For what it will be, said Saji. Hey, what did they bring that for? Not that I'm complaining, but it's weird. Nobody answers what Saji says. You'll find out soon enough, kid. He just said to show you this. We're not allowed to see it, he just said. Get out of there when you've put in the DVD. Then the place closes and Saji is left watching the monitor. What's that? NTR del Bueno. What is that? Said Chain Saji. As the video began to play, Issei was seen sitting and looking at the camera. Hayata said with great anger. Hello Saji, I raised my hand in greeting. You're probably wondering why this is happening. And before you judge me, I'll remind you that you were going to do this to Irina and Asia in front of me. Only now the roles have reversed. I mean, what kind of friend does this to someone? Well, if you ever considered me a friend, in which case I doubt it. Always stalking my females. You don't believe it, Drake. You're right. You can't expect anything from a pathetic dragon like Vitra, although I doubt he did anything to your women. There was always discord between us, but I always won. I certainly got off topic. Saji Issei looks at the camera seriously. I don't know how or why you did it, and before I say anything I want to confess something. 3 months ago the mouse sent Sona and her entourage on a 1-week mission to a somewhat distant place. I remember you came to me and said if I could cover for you, since you were busy with something. I can imagine what it was. Someone told you in front of me, take care of your women or the security will do something to them. But you said, Hayata would never have the guts, if he hasn't even done it with his girls yet. You were right about that. I haven't done it with my beautiful fiancées yet, but I have with others. When I said that, he listened carefully. When I got the Mao's permission, my Citri entourage and I explored a plant in a wooded area. We stayed in a cabin for a week. I couldn't understand the Mao's interest in that plant, except we discovered it in a rather peculiar way that night. It turns out we were exposed to that plant for too long, and that led to a side effect. It doesn't seem strange to you that the mission was for 2 days, but we returned after a week. Saji watches what he says. What I mean is, if I had the courage to do what you said I wouldn't do to your girls. True Momo, Ruruko. Saji sees you call his girls. This one sees how in the video they both appear with little clothing. Stop, said Saji. Lemon skipped. Issei, Rias, and Akino, the couple who overcame. Issei's POV. How long has it been since everyone else and I arrived here? How long has it been since almost my entire life went to hell? How long has it been? As Issei was sitting, they both approached him and sat on his legs. Saji was shocked to see both of them kissing him. I still say that her kisses are the most lascivious. He lowers his hand and touches her bottom. Haya both moan as they feel Issei move his hand towards their pussies. Explain to the camera what your first time was like. They both turn around and say, that afternoon we were exposed to the plant and returned to the cabin. When we were going to sleep I felt a heat in my body that I couldn't calm with a bath. We all walked to the couch as a smell called us there. When we arrived, we saw you lying there sweating. It seems that being a man, it was harder to contain yourself. So, at some point, we all took off our clothes and walked over to you. I remember the first time you did it was with Sona-sama. Though from what we saw, she and Tsubaki-senpai were no longer virgins. We deduced that you two had some sort of relationship. Saji was in shock. Sona talked to you as if you were a couple. I don't know how, but you're incredible in bed. I remember that night you made me come like a crazy woman in heat. Lemon skipped. Although the effect lasted only 2 days, we were all so hooked that we decided to stay for another week. I'm not upset that you've marked me as yours. On the contrary, I'm very happy. Momo said, looking at her arm. I imagine being marked by that traitor. How disgusting it was to be with him, said Ruruko. They are cruel, said Issei as he stripped them of the little clothing they still had. Haya, you are very perverted, Issei. He smiles and says, if Saji saw this, what would they do? Show him everything we've learned these past few months with you. He laughs and looks at the camera. At that moment the door opens and the other members of the Citri clan come out. Don't stop please, cried Saji. You girls are very hexy, said Issei taking off his shirt, showing his muscles. They all blush. Strip, Issei ordered. Issei says to the camera, Saji, you'll believe me that I've been doing it since before you tried to betray me. Now I think we're even. Although there was something Drake told me, tell your friend of mine. It will be a pleasure, Ibu. For centuries my bearers have stolen the mates of all Vitra hosts. Even I Vitrio Drake from the gem. If you remember Sheena's name, everything will fall into place. Issei threw his shirt at the camera, thus obstructing the sexual act. But that didn't stop him from hearing anything they were doing. A while later, Issei took off his shirt and said, say peace. Saji with a lost look saw all of them covered in semen inside them. Don't worry, Saji. I swear the next video will be when they're pregnant. True girls. Yes. We all decided that she would be the first to give birth to your child. She will always be the first to do it with you. So please get us pregnant as soon as possible. Goodbye, Saji, said Issei smiling. Vala was tied up. Apparently, his torturers took him from his prison and took him to a place where they blindfolded him and tied him up. Hello, Vala, how are you? Hayadu. Wow, you really knew how to recognize me. What do you want? Do you want to rub me like you make my wife mine? Your wife, Issei River. She was never yours. I freed her from something she was never meant to be. She realized that the one she loved was me, not you. Vala grunted. You know something worth it. When I thought we were friends and you were honest with me about your past, I investigated and you know something. Vala looks at him. Your mother never died. Your father protected her from your grandfather and made him believe that he murdered her. Vala is in shock. For a while I searched and my search came to an end the very day you tried to rape my women. What do you mean, said Vala. That I found your mother. Unfortunately, she saw a Riesvim in you and… What the… I looked for your mother. She found out about everything you did and came looking for me a few days ago. You lie. Just like you when you claimed to be my friend and planned to betray me. You deserve that. You don't deserve to have those women. And you do. I am the grandson of the first devil. Everything belongs to me, even them. What happened to you, Vala? I feel like taking off these chains and slitting your throat in front of them. You've seen enough, said Issei. Yeah, that voice. Mom. And a white-haired woman came out of a door. Mother. She looked up and said, it's been a while. You saw what you had to see. Yeah, what are you up to? You, say what you truly feel. Vala, I never thought my little one would be just like his grandfather, the one who killed your father and tried to do the same to me. Because, you wouldn't understand. Why not? Because I've always been like this, he said, shouting at her. Vala, go away, if you're going to tell me that. Then I don't have a mother. She shed a tear and said, in that case, if I'm not your mother, then I'm just a woman, and as such, I must do something. Lavi-chan said that you were someone pure and your devotion to those girls is that you love them with your soul, right? Issei doesn't know what to say. You could love a woman like me who gave birth to a monster, she said, looking away. It's not your fault, he said, approaching her, so you would accept this woman to love. Vala, being there, just remains in a trance. You are a beautiful woman, and what fool would say otherwise? Then you would make me your wife. Issei is left speechless. Enough, Vala shouted. Mom, what are you doing? I thought you didn't have a mom. I only do what I want, Vala. And what I want is for this guy here to accept me as his partner. Take him away, she said. Haida, I'll kill you. If you touch my mother, I swear you'll regret it your whole life. I swear. Wow, if you wanted to hurt him, it was good to make him see that you wanted to be with me, said Issei, smiling. I really meant it. And if you don't believe me, I'll have to prove it to you, she said as a magic circle removed her clothes and left her just like that. Why are you doing this, said Issei, somewhat red with embarrassment. To tell the truth, I felt protected when you found me, and the fact that you took care of me all this time made me feel like I could still love. And to tell the truth, I fell in love with you the first time we saw each other. I don't know what to say. To tell you the truth, I have many partners and I don't know what to say right now. Because, shhhh, she said, putting her fingers on his lips, I'll accept any blame. If your partners say that you seduced me, I'll say that I was the guilty one. In fact, you're seducing me right now. And you don't like what you see, he said while turning around. And Issei was just enjoying that amazing body. To tell the truth, I tried to contain myself. If I didn't, I'd make love to you all day long. So don't hold back and make love to me. This is really happening. Of course it's happening now. Issei turns around and distrusts that they can see them. In that case, let's get out of here, and Issei will carry her bridal style and they'll start disappearing. She was just bluffing. She would never do that with that bastard. She just wants to punish me for denying her as my mother.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.